From the central coast of New South Wales, Australia, it's the #1 podcast for the X-Men animated series. This is Generation X-Men with Bender and Brooksy.
Yes, welcome to the program. Thanks, Steve. This is Generation X-Men. I'm Ben, and with me as always is Brooksy.
Hey, hey.
Like the name suggests, we are Generation X-Men, and you are too. If you're new to this, what we'll be doing is going through all 5 seasons of X-Men the animated series, one episode at a time, giving you our thoughts, X-Quiz, tally time, and most importantly, having a laugh as well. Now, we got a new season, new look, and new disc in the box set, and finally in stereo, Brooks. In stereo, if people don't know what that means, at the intro bumper of X-Men the animated series, I always remember as a kid coming up in brackets during double brackets.
In stereo brackets.
In stereo brackets, a little subtitle that said, in stereo. Now, as a kid, I didn't know what that meant. So every time it come up, I was like, what does that mean? And I thought it come up from the start. I always remembered in stereo popping up at the start of every season, but now we know it started in season 2. Season 2 only. So yeah, we're up to season 2, and things are feeling a little bit different already. I think the colour palette's a little bit different, and it's got some choice episodes in this season with plenty of new characters. And we're up to Till Death Do Us Part 1. So let's jump into it. It's time for X-Quiz.
Pop quiz, Hotshot.
Pop quiz! Pop quiz, asshole.
Time for a surprise quiz.
Won't be a pop quiz on Wednesday. There's a pop quiz. Pop quiz.
All right, how many questions you got this week?
I'll just say that I've got 2, because chances are this third one that I have, you've got as well, because it's pretty X-Quizzy. So how many do you have?
I've got 4, but
Whoa.
I could break some of them up.
All right. Well, hit me up with that 4 and break them up if you want.
So the first one I've got is, what colour is Creed's Friends of Humanity armband?
I believe that it is yellow, the font is white, and there's red and blue on there.
Yellow would do.
Yellow. I had to mention the red, white, and blue because I think they're pro-America as well behind their Friends of Humanity with the big yellow thing. I remember that just because his jacket was maroon, and
that's right.
It really
Stood
stands out from that. Here's my first X-Quiz. During the Friends of Humanity montage, when they're beating up and chasing down people, the hairy mutant is attacked at what establishment? There's a sign above his head.
I think that's the one that says burgers.
That is correct. I thought they would have gone more specific, like Frank's Burgers or Pop-Up Burger or something like that, but they keep it nice and vague with burgers. But there are some other stores in the episode.
There is.
Which I'm sure might
Do you
be popping
remember
up.
the next one?
I think one was Adrian's laundrette or something.
Close.
What was it?
Adrian's Clothing.
Clothing. Yeah. Well, all of them had Mutants Welcome underneath.
We serve mutants.
Okay.
Said
We
on that
serve
one.
mutants.
Do you remember what number was above the door? It's a dress number.
Oh, it was something specific, but I didn't write it down because I knew you would. Is it 246 or something?
Oh, yeah. Nailed it.
Yeah, I want to know. I really wish the letters had continued on. I really wanted it to spell something in the end from season 1. But anyway, I just got some random numbers. My question again. When Morph is in the mansion pretending to be other people, Jubilee is watching the news, and she brought in some snacks with her. What snacks did she bring in?
Ooh, is it a bowl or something?
It was a bowl of something.
Is it popcorn?
Yes, it is a bowl of popcorn. Yeah.
Yes. So the next place on the drive-by hit list by the Friends of Humanity is what?
I think it was a city hall, but I know it was promoting something funny, like a dance or something from 9 to 11 or something. I don't know what it was.
It was the community hall.
All right.
It's 9 to 11 singles dance, and mutants are welcome.
Gambit would have been there.
Oh, yeah.
He would have been there for sure.
What are Magneto's coordinates in Antarctica?
That was it. Was it 75 degrees southwest, 139 degrees east?
Correct.
And both of them ended with the degrees, right?
Yeah.
75 degrees, 39 degrees. Because I was looking at it, it looked like the one's 39 degrees ended with quotations, but that's not how.
Okay.
That's not how it works, right?
Oh, I couldn't tell you exactly.
All right.
I did also it come up in the research that apparently it's wrong, and someone was trying to tell me the real one, and I didn't really pay attention.
Oh, okay. So it might have been an animation goof or whatever. So, but traditionally, longitude and latitude always in degrees, right?
I believe so.
Sweet. Okay. Just thought I'd solidify that just so I know how to do that sort of coordinates shit.
Previously on X-Men.
So previously on X-Men, we have Master Mold wanted to remove Senator Kelly's brain and replace it with a computer.
My favourite.
And so the X-Men decided that they'd go and rescue him. And Wolverine and Gambit did all the work by destroying all of the Sentinels. And then Cyclops was a bitch to them. Senator Kelly changed his tune on his mutant stance.
Yeah.
And then Cyclops proposes to Jean. And at the end, it was Mr. Sinister's been watching season 1 of the X-Men as well.
And they didn't replay his voice.
No, they did not.
Because it was so different to what his voice is now.
It was very snake-like.
Very snake-like?
Yeah.
The new
Sinister.
one? Oh, the high-pitched one.
The old one.
Sinister knows what your future holds.
Yeah.
So that's a bit like that and doesn't really seem that sinister. It seems more loud and quirky and Joker-esque.
Yes.
What I noticed about this previously on episode, seeing how it is the start of a new season, they didn't recap the entire first season. They just picked up where the last one left off and recapped that particular episode. I was thinking if you're a new watcher coming in and you saw that previously on X-Men, I imagine it would be very confusing. I thought, would it have been worth the animators' time to do an entire recap of the first season during the previously on episode in this one, or would that be too much, do you reckon?
I think just keeping with their continuity is they just throw you in. So it's,
that's
you don't
right.
really know. So that it doesn't really you don't really need to know. You just know that they're the X-Men.
Yeah, you pointed that out in one of the first episodes. They just chuck you straight in and you just write in the story and you're finding out as you go on along. Okay, that's a solid explanation there.
Break it down. Break it down.
Now it's time for a breakdown.
Breakdown. Where is she?
So today we are doing episode number 14, season 2, episode 1, Till Death Do Us Part 1.
Excellent.
The original air date for this one is October 23, 1993. So I've had about a 7-month gap since our last episode.
Oh, right,
between
really?
seasons.
7 months?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think it was March, last one.
Oh.
And it was written by Mark Edward Edens and directed by Larry Houston.
On you, Larry. Hope you're listening, buddy. We love you.
So, yeah, as you said at the start of the show, we are now in stereo, season 2.
Does it sound different to you, Brooksy?
No.
Was the first the first season wasn't mono. I don't remember it being, but unless they did a remix for the DVD, but
yeah, that
I
could
doubt
happen.
it probably just always was. Maybe it was broadcast things. They just broadcast in stereo because times were a-changing, as it were.
Yeah, 93, maybe it changed. So the episode starts and it's like a misty sort of, I don't know whether it's supposed to be a warehouse or a valley or something. I'm not really sure. There's just pillars.
I was vibing as ruins or something, just some sort of vague, sort of dark, evil Roman ruins or something like a Colosseum or something. Just really run in and dark and scary as.
And then we see Cyclops, he's running through the fog.
Mm-hmm.
And then Wolverine comes flipping in behind Cyclops and he's in a tuxedo.
Yeah, the purple cummerbund.
And then we get our first claw draw.
Yep.
And Cyclops starts to blast around at Wolverine, who jumps around to avoid the blast. So like, okay, hang on. We've got Cyclops fighting Wolverine.
I know, it was jumping straight in. Something is amiss. Why? What? You got already from the start, so many questions. Where are they? Why is Wolverine in a tux? And why is he fighting Cyclops?
And then Cyclops sort of hits him with a blast into the chest, and then he lunges at Cyclops. And then we cut to a church.
Yeah, right. Takes you right out of it.
Yeah, so it's very night and day here. Where it's very dark.
Light and dark.
Yeah.
Big contrast here.
And at the church, we've got Scott and Jean. They're getting married.
And people putting it together. Oh, they can't be at the same place
Like,
at the same
hang on.
time.
Yeah, is this a flashback or is this what's going on here?
I think everyone would have looked around at the other groomsmen, as it were, and if they would notice that they're wearing similar sort of
Well, that's my next point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because did you see the bridal party?
Well, only because you pointed it out.
So we've got Storm and Rogue
Yeah.
and some random guy as the bridesmaids. Oh, I don't know who the random guy is. Who's the random guy?
He doesn't appear before or after. He doesn't look like anyone familiar. But, yeah, he's just some random dude hanging out with the girls. Maybe a gay best friend or something.
Yeah, they never mention it, so they could have brought that up in dialogue, I think.
I reckon it's a funny writer cameo. That's probably what Mark Edward Edens looks like. Who knows? Who knows?
It could be.
I reckon it could be like anybody.
So then we've got Jubilee as the flower girl.
Yep.
And then you've got the Professor, Gambit, and Beast on the groomsman side.
In their tuxes, yeah.
So the Reverend asks, do you take Jean as your lawfully wedded wife? And Cyclops says, I do.
Mm.
Then we flash straight back to Wolverine with his, you can't have her.
Oh, so selfish.
So then we get more of the fight here between Wolverine and Cyclops.
Yeah.
And then we're back to the wedding, where it's Jean's vows.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're straight back to Wolverine, and he stabs Cyclops now into the chest.
Right in the chest, right in the heart, and we're thinking, what is happening?
And we find out it's not Cyclops, it's a robot.
Sneaky robot. So then I think as a kid, by this time, I'd already put it together. Okay, he must be in the danger room.
Danger room. Yep.
Danger room always. Getting all that murder out of his system.
That's exactly what he's doing.
yeah.
So Wolverine then cuts the head off this robot, and he says, I'm beginning to feel much better now. And then he turns around, and he's just in time to be hit by another blast.
Yeah.
And this one's coming from a Cyclops Sentinel hybrid.
Yeah, that's right. It's sort of it morphs into a bigger, like what you said, a hybrid of Cyclops and the Sentinel. Pretty cool design on this one too.
So he manages another decapitation here of the Sentinel Cyclops, but they cut it out.
Yes, I mean I brought it up because I was watching this episode from Rips that I have at home.
Yeah.
And they show the full decapitation of Wolverine hopping up on the shoulders, reaching way back and slashing right across the back of the Sentinel's head, and the head pops off.
Oh, okay.
And when we're watching the DVD tonight,
Yeah.
he hops up on the shoulder and cut. Wolverine's landing on the ground, and so is the Sentinel's head right next to him, which brings it. I want to bring it up. The censorship. Why would they censor a DVD? I mean, and not censor the actual television version of it. The last time I remember this happening is an episode of Ren and Stimpy, because I got the Ren and Stimpy episodes on DVD, and there was a scene where some wacky shit, man. They were on some farm, they're about to eat some corn or whatever, and you see they've got their teeth. And the farm parents say, oh, you can't have those teeth in your mouth. They pull the teeth out.
All right.
And they smile and reveal their gums. And Ren has like a nerve ending hanging out of his gums and falls down. And then I thought, oh, yeah, that's hilarious. I remembered that as a kid. But when I got on the DVD, I didn't show it at all, because the punchline was the crazy farm guy's holding up a jar of teeth and going, now you can finish that necklace you started. So I'd wasted about $40 just to get this Ren and Stimpy season 1 to 4, just so I could see that gag, and they cut it out. But for this, I have no reason. Cutting the head off a robot. It's a robot. That's why they made it robots, so it could be super violent towards them. Why they cut that out, I have no idea.
No. So the decapitated head then has another I-beam shot at Wolverine and knocks him.
Yeah, Wolverine comes over to gloat or something, and then the decapitated head just blasts him like, I didn't see that coming. It's like, oh, you think it'd be disconnect from its power source, but blasts him and takes off even more of the tuxedo.
Yeah, the suit's getting all off him now.
I don't know what his rationale is there going into training in the full tux. He must have just saw himself in the mirror in the full tux. Like, there's just a constant reminder that he is losing Jean. He goes, no, fuck this. He couldn't even be bothered changing out of his clothes to go into the danger room and kill some Cyclops robots.
I thought the only way he could get through the wedding is by murdering Cyclops.
Oh, okay.
So then, as he's getting nailed by this Cyclops robot head that's been decapitated,
Yes. Where else could you say that?
He lays down and he's like, oh, Jean. And he
Always.
screams out to Jean.
Yeah.
And we cut back to the wedding here where Jean sort of feels what he's
She
feeling.
can sort of sense it, yeah.
And but then she doesn't seem to do anything about it, and Gambit comes straight in.
Where I come from, we always kiss the bride.
And did you notice his ponytail?
Oh, yes, I did notice
man.
the epic mullet ponytail going on. Is it a mullet or has he just got a full head of hair?
It's got to be a
I
mullet.
think it's a mullet.
It's got to be.
Reminds me of that crazy 95 Shawn Michaels Heartbreak Kid mullet that he had. Long spike on the top, but it was so long at the back. Short and spike on the top, but so long at the back, he had it in a plait.
All right.
That's what that reminded me of in Gambit, because that was a mighty mullet ponytail.
So that's what that face sock's hiding.
You think it would be sticking out the back, kind of
You
like
think
Jean Grey's
Yeah,
face sock ponytail?
exactly.
Oh, just cut it. Why does it need to be that long, Gambit?
The ladies love it.
Apparently not, because Rogue denies him again in an upcoming bit.
That's right. He just walks straight over to Rogue and says,
We always kiss the bridesmaids, too.
This ain't Cajun country, hun. Zip those lips.
I like that bit. That was classic.
So the Reverend then congratulates Scott, who asks him, is he coming to the reception? The Reverend replies, if only I could, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. Pleasant dreams.
Pleasant dreams. That's a weird line to finish on, Reverend. Something must
He's actually
be up.
quoting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost.
Oh, okay. I swear Robert Frost, his name comes up a fair bit. Does I reckon Beast quotes Robert Frost a couple of times.
He's a prominent poet, isn't he?
Oh,
So
he'd have to be.
Yeah.
At least one of the writer's favourite poets anyway.
So the Reverend walks outside and transforms into Morph.
Morph is back.
He's back.
And he's got some really dark Beetlejuice circles under his eyes.
And he's very jaundiced. So yellow.
He's looking very Tim Burton-esque.
Yeah, he's got that black and purple under his
Yeah,
eyes.
he's not looking well.
No.
He's not looking well. Makes me think maybe Tim Burton could have done a good X-Men movie, because he could have just done because he's got the
Yeah.
Beetlejuice eyes, or the penguin eyes, whatever you want to call it, those big dark purple circles.
Yeah, and his eyes are red too, like bright
yeah,
red.
the pupils are red.
But he's still wearing the same blue and yellow uniform with his brown jacket.
Yeah, can't let go. He's still wearing the uniform, can't let go.
So we come back from the ad break to Robert Jefferson Kelly's inauguration in Washington. That was also going to be one of my trivia questions.
Yeah, I was listening to that one because that was as a previous X quiz.
I thought that was going to be
I was
obvious.
like, ooh.
So we get a TV transition here to a guy putting on hairy green beast-like or saber-tooth-like gloves.
Yeah, that's right.
He's putting on a costume.
Yeah, a very, very detailed and expensive looking Halloween outfit.
Yeah. So again, this is another one of those TV transitions. There's a
They
lot,
love
isn't
them.
there?
They bloody love
Oh,
them.
man. So we go back to the mansion for Jean to throw her bouquet.
Oh, yes.
And Jubilee's warning Rogue against flying to catch it.
Well, she could have warned Storm as well. Don't you know you're next to two mutants that can fly? Why give Rogue the sass?
But it seems to fall on top of a box that Beast is carrying. So then Jean has this line here. If you are the next to marry, maybe we should start calling you Mr. McCoy. Isn't he a doctor?
Well, then the ladies probably get more keen for a doctor.
Why
A
did
doctor, honey.
this line must just be to set up the next line from Beast?
Which was...
Yeah, the next line from Beast is what's in a name that which we can call a rose by another name would smell as sweet, which is Shakespeare from Romeo and Juliet. So is that all they're doing, just to set that up?
It was a bit of a set-up payoff situation. It's like, I want him to say this. How can we get him to say this? I have Jean say this.
A terrible line.
Well, I don't know. Maybe when she was walking down the steps, they had a really sort of odd moving close-up on her. And she was kind of looking very pretty and stuff like that. But I don't understand her motivation for saying that line either, other than it was to get Beast a quote in, because it doesn't say anything of importance after that.
No.
I would have thought it'd be something funny
Yeah.
because he's Beast and he's furry or something.
I don't know what he was doing. Why isn't he watching the bouquet toss and seeing which woman's getting it, and then he try and get in for the garter toss?
The garter. That's probably a little bit grown up.
Where's the garter?
Where's the garter toss? Oh, jeez.
That's what he should have been catching.
Well, he was walking back into the room with a big parcel or something.
Yeah,
Probably-
why?
He's probably saying, during the bouquet, I'll probably go out and get Jean's gift or whatever.
Or was he stealing it?
He's walking out with a combination toaster. Something else.
It's China set.
Looks Max. Got 5 speeds.
So the professor asks, what's news, or what news does Beast have from the president? So he explains that the senator had arranged his bail, and then when he was president, he's cleared his name.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get a transition here to the press room, I guess, of the White House.
Yep.
For President Kelly now. It's not Senator Kelly.
Senator Kelly always had a better ring to it,
It
than
does.
President
Yeah.
Kelly. President, 3 syllables, senator. Still the same thing, but Senator Kelly, you can say it really fast. Not President Kelly, Mr. President. Because no one says President. Oh, well, they do, but they always say Mr. President in these things, and I think that's got a better ring to it. But
Yeah.
Senator Kelly rolls off the tongue. It works so well.
So Kelly says that his first act as president is to issue a full pardon to Beast.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut in on an angry red-suited man who has a Friends of Humanity button on it.
Yep, sure does.
So, yeah, this is our first look at our first villain of the season.
Yep, that's right.
So he pulls up his collar and whispers into it now.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see that green mutant-looking guy come running in
Yep,
the
the
suit.
disguised mutant comes running in and causing a ruckus, as it were.
So he's throwing chairs and tables and everything. He's going crazy coming through the doorway.
It's almost a classic suddenly Sabretooth attack.
But he came through the door.
But he came through the
They
door.
could have had a new one.
Yeah, that felt like we're retreading up. Sabretooth did that already.
Yeah.
But this one has a bit of motivation behind it rather than suddenly Sabretooth.
So the red-suited guy starts yelling, "You were elected to protect us from mutants." And then he gets another mutant lover in.
Mutant lover!
So the green-suited guy throws a chair through the window and he jumps out after it.
Fake mutant.
And so the red-suited guy then says...
This is Creed. Stage 1 successful. Begin stage 2.
So Creed is his name. Great Creed.
Grayton Creed. What a name.
We cut back to Wolverine in the danger room, and he's sort of coming to, must get knocked out by the old holograms, and he says, these holograms are starting to smell good. And then Jean enters, still in a full wedding dress, and Wolverine gets startled, has another claw draw.
All right.
Jean says, we missed you at the wedding. And he says, I must have lost track of time. And then he goes to say, Jean, and then she cuts him off and says, I have to go. Scott and I have a plane to catch. So he's still trying to hit on her, even though she's now married.
Do you think that they have done anything, maybe kissed in this that we haven't seen before? Or is it only just nice feelings towards one another?
I reckon something else was up.
Something would have happened for sure. For him to be this obsessed with her, to still be cracking onto her while she's married.
Definitely. So we cut to a hotel where Morph is staying in the city, and he seems to be struggling like mentally with his thoughts, and he's like rolling around on the bed like saying, why did they abandon me? And why did they leave me to die? And this is where we get the flashback to episode 2.
Episode 2, yeah, the stock footage comes up. That's a good way to save money on an episode, just get some stock footage back.
And we see the Tin Woodsman lines. I'm sending you back to us.
Send you back to us
in pieces. So
So
get another claw draw. And this is where we finally actually see Morph get blasted by the Sentinels.
Oh, really? We don't see that? Oh, no, we don't.
Yeah, it all happens off camera.
Oh, right.
So this is the first time we're seeing it. And
Wow.
it's 2 Sentinels, both palms. So it's 4 shots he cops.
I didn't even think about that. He just got shot. But now that you mentioned both palms, 2 Sentinels, 4 shots, yep, that'd put someone down.
And it's so big that it knocks his jacket off.
Yeah, blast his jacket off.
Similar to the Rogue v Apocalypse fight.
Yes. It's serious when the jacket gets melted off. I like it.
And as the Blackbird's flying off, we see the shadow of Mr. Sinister come over Morph.
Yeah.
And he says,
"You will destroy them all."
And then we cut back to Morph in his hotel room and he says, "I will destroy them all." And then that's when he's gone back to being jaundiced and he's got the Beetlejuice eyes.
Yes. When it's innocent Morph, he doesn't have the jaundice.
Yeah.
And when it's evil Morph, what's it called?
Jaundice.
Jaundice is in. The Tim Burton purple circle eyes are in. and he's 100% evil. I really like, because he is a shapeshifter, they can sort of express that battle between the good and dark side of himself, kind of like Gollum and Schmeagol, but this is just done so totally, you can tell, because the evil's taken over, he's got the jaundice. But I want to mention, what's the difference between a hotel and a motel? A motel seems sleazier to me and dirtier.
Yeah.
So, do you reckon he's in a motel instead of a hotel?
It said outside, didn't it?
Oh, okay.
Didn't.
But I've always thought that the dip in quality, because like a hotel could have a pub downstairs.
Yeah.
Motel would never have a pub downstairs. Got ice maker maybe for your sleazy mess. I mean, Senator Quimby is always at a motel. He's never at a hotel.
Mayor Quimby.
Mayor Quimby, sorry.
Vol Quimby.
Vol Quimby. The Sleep Easy Motel. Seems nice. Know what I mean? It's just, I think that when they're in sleazy places, it's got to be a motel. Just a little writing tip for anybody to make me happy.
So yeah, Morph's saying that he's going to destroy everyone. So he starts morphing into who he
says,
names. So he says Cyclops, Storm, and then Wolverine before he collapses back onto the bed.
Yeah, the good side's trying to figure out why this is happening.
And he does say here, "What's making me do this?" And then the purple around his eyes and that is gone.
Yes.
And then he just collapses back down. He's rolling around going, "Oh, why?"
Yeah, it's pretty dark and grim once you think of it. Just a guy who's just constantly at battle with himself because someone's done something to him. It makes me think, what was Sinister doing at the mutant registration area anyway? Just hanging about? I mean,
like a Magneto. He's just outside watching.
Just doing a Magneto, just outside everyone's line of vision, having a bit of a sneaky... But I'll explain it later on in the season. He is obsessed with Cyclops and Jean, so yeah, makes sense. So maybe he was hoping that Cyclops got blasted instead of useless old Morph.
So we go now outside of a burger store, and this is where we see a group of guys, and they're all wearing vests, berets, and FOH t-shirts, which is Friends of Humanity,
or FOH for short.
FOH. And they're surrounding a red hairy mutant. Do you know this mutant's name?
Austin Powers? That's what you said.
He's reminiscent of him, isn't he?
Yeah, he's pre-Austin Powers, but you got just attacking Austin Powers mutant. I said, that's hilarious. No, I don't know his name. Beast Boy.
He is a reoccurring character. His name is Mole.
Poor soul. He says something like, "I don't have powers, I just look different," right?
Yes.
Poor
he has
Mole.
no powers, just looks different.
Oh dear. He has a shallow depth of field and can dig.
Mole.
Nice to mow you. Me too. Nice to meet you, Mole. Don't say Mole. I said Mole. A lot of Austin Powers talk, actually.
Oh, yeah. So the guys are saying, like, "Get that lousy mutant."
My mole steak. Listen.
Now nostalgia on the Austin Powers stuff. You just don't get wrong with it.
He shouldn't have said his name was Mole. He's just opened up so many doors for me.
Then we see Creed on a rooftop. And he's got his binoculars out watching all the destruction that's going on from the Friends of Humanity.
No more mutants.
And that's the line.
No more mutants.
And then the Friends of Humanity guys go on a bit of an anti-mutant rampage. So they seem to be destroying every sign with the word mutant on it. This is where we see the clothing store and the community hall and all that.
Yeah.
And this is before they start chasing two of your mates down the street. Two more locks.
Yeah, chase them back into the sewers.
So we see again Ape and Tommy come running down the street as they're getting fired upon.
Bloody Ape and Tommy. 2D Tommy and Trash Can Ape.
That's
right?
the ones. And did you notice that the Friends of Humanity had like torches? Like, like the
Chasing
flame.
down Frankenstein or some shit.
Not a flashlight.
Torches.
Yeah.
Well, Angry Mob always has torches, but no pitchforks because they're inner city mobs.
So they duck into an alley to hide, and Ape morphs into a trash can. Tommy goes 2D against the wall, so they can't see her.
Yeah.
And then they sort of disappear down the sewer here.
Yeah, back in the sewer. They're not as creepy as they were in Captive Hearts, but...
They don't have the mate Annalea anywhere.
Oh,
so.
jeez. She wouldn't be running anyway. Oh, no, she'd just cover them in scorpions.
That's right.
Genius.
We get another news report to War Room transition here.
Yep.
And the news is claiming that...
Let me emphasize that we do not know who or what has triggered this outbreak of anti-mutant violence. The demonstrators claim to be defending themselves against mutant attacks.
Man, the press is really stupid. Can't they all see that they have all got the "FO" written on their shirts?
Yeah.
All the "FO" merchandise.
Yeah, they got the bloody berets
The
on.
berets, got the hats, got the puffer jackets.
The vests.
The armbands. That's idiots.
As soon as someone tells the news something, they just report it. This happened. Oh, I better report that.
All right.
So the professor explains to Jubilee that since they helped the president and he's changed his tune on his mutants and how he feels, that his followers feel betrayed, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he built his campaign on anti-mutant.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like what every politician does, right? They say they're going to do this, this, and this, get all the votes, and they say, oh, no, we're not doing this. NBN's got to go.
But I think he's done this before the election. Like, it was before the election, wasn't he? He wasn't elected last season.
Yeah. No, he's only freshly elected this season.
So, yeah, he's done a full 180 just before the election. Still gets elected.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, everyone's confused. So, no one's happy with him.
Oh, okay. Not a strong way to start your political career as president.
So the professor says, so often in our history, unhappy, misguided people have created scapegoats, blaming those that are different for their problems in their lives.
Oh, yeah, very political there.
So Storm says we need to stand up to these people before more people get hurt.
Right, yeah, good on you, Storm.
Yeah.
Now we have a firm grasp of the obvious.
And then the professor's private video line alarm goes off on his wheelchair.
Got some Pornhub updates. Private video. That just doesn't read right now. Oh, yeah, private video, huh? Professor XXX. You know what you're up to, mate.
Cam girls a start.
Ah! Cam girls, Moira Matagan. Yes, we're filth. Professor's filth. Professor XXX.
Of course he is.
Smut peddler.
So he takes off into his office again, and we get an ex-wipe into the office, and it's Magneto on the line. It's
right.
not a cam girl.
Oh, no cam girl. There should have been like a box of Kleenexes next to them.
I don't think they would have got away with that.
No. He could have said he was a cold or something. There he is.
So Magneto's here. He's on the screen. He's pleading for the professor to meet him at the coordinates and to hurry.
Magneto, what is happening?
Meet me at these coordinates. Hurry!
So yeah, he wants him to meet him in Antarctica.
And there's fire behind him.
Yeah, isn't any of this he's a telepath? Like, what? Why isn't he going? Hang on, man, this doesn't make any sense. Maybe I just might jump on to bloody.
Let's just go straight away,
bro, and just see what's going on.
See where Magneto's really at. But yeah, as soon as he's calling Professor X, and fire's behind him, and then Professor goes, "He's in Antarctica." I thought, Antarctica's no fire down there.
Yeah, and also the video chat. The video chat's big in this series, isn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't too big in 1993, but...
No, it's just we get cutting edge in this one.
So it turns out that it's actually Morph. He's still in his hotel room, and he's got this big screen with the fiery background running on it.
It's not even green screen, it's rear projection, so he's got a projector there. There's no way it's a television. He could have cheated it and done it on his knees with the telly behind him. But he's gone all out and got a rear projector and a rear projection silk just to get a little extra quality. But he could have put some haze over it because there's a lot of static during the video.
Yeah.
I suppose he could have got away with the fire. But no sound of fire. Could have like cellophane near the mic just out of...
He's got it under his foot.
Yeah, Sophia. I want to see that poorly created fire background noise.
So now Wolverine and Gambit are playing pool in, I guess, like a pool hall or a bar or something. What'd you make of this place?
It looked like it was a bar, but don't they have a rec room?
Yeah, they do. With a pool table.
Why aren't they playing in there? Gambit probably wrecked it.
Gambit wrecked it. And Beast is here. So we've got Wolverine in his civvies.
Yeah.
Gambit not in his civvies.
No.
He's got the ponytail away. And Beast just in the Speedos.
Beast never wears clothes.
No pants for Beast. Loses pants. So then Beast gets recognised from being on TV by the waitress chick at the bar.
By the babe.
She says, "Do you know the president?" And Gambit's like, "Oh,
They're like brothers, Petit.
Yeah, I noticed a resemblance.
They're real close. They're like brothers. And Beast is not too thrilled with all this extra attention.
Yeah.
He doesn't want the girl to hit on him. Which could have been like, maybe this is the payoff to the line that Gene had earlier, being an eligible bachelor sort of guy.
he's getting married."
He's getting married to the crazy waitress chick.
And then the front of the place just starts to explode. And
Damn it, Beast is tonight.
there's a big group of the Friends of Humanity outside.
The foch.
And the fuck. Do you want me to say that?
If
now?
you
I'll
like,
say that.
call it
Okay.
the foch.
And we hear, "Send out the muties, or we'll burn them out." It's the first time I say muties. I always remember that as a kid.
Really?
Muties? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're a mutie.
So yeah, they tell them they got to come out or they're going to burn it, and then they just start firing into it anyway with the laser weapons. Like,
Yeah. They must have just seen like a glimpse of Wolverine and said, "Nah, just start shooting, lads. Just start shooting."
And this is where Beast picks up like a pool ball and he throws it to Gambit.
Yeah, he picks it up with his foot,
Yeah.
which I thought was really, and he just snatches with his foot, puts it into his hand, and then chucks it to Gambit. I thought that was really cool. I mean, it's a simple thing, but it's a Beast thing. It is very Beast specific. So I love that bit.
I always loved when Gambit used something that wasn't a card.
Yes.
Because when I was a kid, I could never throw cards, but I could always throw something else.
You
I'm
can
like,
always,
oh, man.
You always throw a pool ball.
That's right. Nail someone with a pool ball.
Oh, Jesus.
So we get one of the is here. He's firing the laser rifle off.
Yeah.
And Beast is above him on a lamppost.
Mm.
And he comes down and takes the gun off him.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Perhaps you're unaware that this is a dangerous weapon." And then we get Creed. He's up the street with one of his cronies.
Yeah.
And they got the huge old video camera.
Got the big camcorder out.
It's got the full VHS tape plug in. And they're huge, eh?
Got
Like,
the big Betamax tape in there. And he's filming Beast doing the...
they're filming what's going on with these guys.
So yeah, he's
And the
filming
X-Men.
Beast waving a rifle around. So you can already see where this is going. They're going to edit the video to make Beast look like a bad guy again.
Now we see Gambit, and he gets out his bow staff for the first
The
time.
extending bow staff that was always in the comics, was in the action figure, but the entire first season, he never bloody used it. But now we finally get to see him use the extender bow staff. It kind of reminded me of the Predator spear from Predator 2. Like, and it extends out. I was like, but this is the first time I think I ever saw it in a cartoon. So I got really excited when Gambit got his stick out.
So he's fighting a guy with a chain, which is cool. It's a cool fight there.
Yeah.
And we get Wolverine with his claws already popped, so he didn't get a draw.
Mm-hmm.
And he runs down and he cuts up a guy's gun.
Yeah.
And he says, "I heard you don't like mutants. Well, we don't much like you."
Set up in punchline just for himself there.
So we come back to Gambit here, who must have fought off the guy off the chain because he's got it himself now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's swinging it above his head, and he charges it up and then
he
throws it
then
at the
he
fuck guys.
charges. Yeah. You would have loved that bit, man.
Oh,
That's
man.
cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was a cool Gambit moment.
So the 4 remaining guys jump into a car and go to speed off.
Mm-hmm.
But Beast is behind it, and he picks up the back wheels of the car as they're trying to get away.
Twin style.
So they can't get away. Twin star, that's right. Wolverine jumps on the top of the car. We get another claw draw, and he says, "Let's take these sardines out of the can."
Nice one.
So he cuts into the roof, and
Beast has a line here that he is envious of that analogy, and he goes, was it green and blue with envy? Because because I think it's meant to say he's green with envy, but because he's also blue, he's green and blue with envy.
yeah, they went with both.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't say he was green with envy. He didn't say he was blue with envy.
He should have just said he was
both.
blue with envy.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, see, if we were script editors, would have made that cut. I'm blue with envy.
So they're still getting filmed here by Creed up the road. And Gambit's like twirling staff really quick. And he knocks the torches that the guys are carrying out of 2 guys' hands. That's cool.
I love Gambit when he gets to use his staff.
Oh, man.
He could have used that way more in the first season, but the bow staff rules.
So yeah, once Wolverine's got the roof off, he sort of peels the roof back, and the guys just break out of the car and run away. And then they start hearing the police sirens.
Yeah.
And Beast decides they should take off. He says, "A crime scene is no place for a recent recipient of a presidential pardon." Which is a lot of big words for, let's get out of here.
Yeah. Let's bail. Dude, bail.
Wolverine says, "Yeah, I bet I got some unpaid parking tickets."
I think he should
I don't think that was needed.
Nah, I think should let Beast have the funny end line. That was strong enough.
So back to the mansion in the war room, and the professor's got his little head hologram up here.
I said he's got Zordon vibes here from Power Rangers, just a big head in a tube. That's the vibe that I got.
Greetings, Rangers.
I can never understand what Zordon was saying. It was always like this tone. What the fuck is Zordon saying?
All they got to know is just fight the bad guy anyway. Buddy Patrol's here.
Fight, what are those things called? The putties?
Putties?
Fight the putties.
So the head hologram comes up and tells the X-Men that he has to go away on a personal matter of great importance. And he says that Storm is the leader till Cyclops and Jean get back from their honeymoon. And Jubilee comes running into the war room at that time, tells them to turn on the news. And this is where they got the footage of Beast holding the gun.
Yeah, but what I know, she already had the remote in her hand.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. She just says, turn on the news, and she just does a quick draw with the remote. And just boop, boop. She could have just said, guys, we need to watch the news. I got the remote. Boop, boop, boop.
Check this
it on. Check this out. Like that.
So the news says that he's holding an energy weapon and attacking an occupied vehicle at a near riot.
Yeah.
And Wolverine straight off, "We've been set up."
We've been ratted out here, boys.
So he just gets up and goes to go straight out the door, but he's stopped by Storm. And Storm says, "If there is a new conspiracy to turn the public against mutants, we must work to unmask it and not add to its climate of violence." Which Wolverine says, "Climates are your department, Storm. Unmasking is mine."
Yeah.
It's claw drawer as he takes off down the hallway.
I always think, what's the point of a claw drawer if he's not going to stab anything with it? It's like a gun. Keep it in your thing. Keep it in your holster unless you're going to shoot somebody.
It's like his sunglasses on.
Yeah, it's how he buttons the scene.
That's it.
It's how he buttons the scene. It's a big don't argue. My point has been made.
So now we see Morph out the front of the mansion gates, and he watches Wolverine drive his Jeep out, and he says that even Wolverine's Jeep sounds angry. And the Jeep sound effects sort of like a cat. Yeah. And he says, "Let's see if we can upset everybody else." Then he transforms into Wolverine, and then he says, "Making copies."
Which you explained to me. To me, as a kid, didn't get it. As an adult, didn't get it. Until you explained that it's actually a skit, right?
Yeah. So as soon as he said it, I'm like, what is that? That doesn't make sense. It's sort of
it's out of context,
yeah,
but is said in such a specific way, it has to be something. So you did some research on
I
this.
looked it up. And it turns out that it's a Rob Schneider Saturday Night Live sketch. So it's his character Richard the Richmeister Lamer.
So it's all about this copy guy, or just dude in the office just hangs by a copy machine, and whoever walks by, he tries to talk with them, and it's that typical sort of office guy who does. The person's name's Kev, the Kevinator, the blah, 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 blah.
There seems to be more of that than the making copies part.
Yeah, because he did all that, the stuff, the Kevinator, the Richmeister. And then he said, making copies. I would have thought he would have said that after everybody come a room, and that would be the joke.
Yeah.
Okay, so Steve comes in, and then Kev comes in, and then Michael comes in, and then Brooke comes in. And each of them, he says, making copies to. He only said it like twice. So I'm thinking, how is that pop culture so mainstream that would make it into an X-Men animated series? And this is for kids. Kids wouldn't get that.
Yeah.
I don't think kids would watch Saturday Night Live.
What's that quote about Saturday Night Live that's like, you always think it's the best Saturday Night Live when you're like 15 or something like that?
Oh,
What's
okay.
that? Who says that?
I have no idea.
Somebody says that. Everyone says that Saturday Night Live is the best when them themselves is like 15.
Oh, okay.
It's something like that. Someone says that. I can't remember now.
Let me look it up. But yeah, that skit always that skit. I don't think it was popular enough to.
Well, it wasn't in Australia. Like we don't even get.
Yeah.
We get Saturday Night Live, whatever. No one watches it.
No, I mean, I only see like the best of, or you only ever trace back your the movie stars that made it. Then you chase back the best of Jimmy Fallon or the best of Will Ferrell, who made it out of Saturday Night Live. I mean, the quality of that show. I mean, you could get more from just the highlights rather than a full episode. Even The Simpsons took the piss out of it all the time. Like whenever Krusty was on Mad About You and that sort of lame stuff.
So now this is where the episode gets pretty hard to take notes. Because Morph is pretending to be so many damn people. So even all my notes says like Morph / Wolverine.
Oh,
so
okay.
I remember who's going on because I'm going to say, Wolverine does. Didn't Wolverine just leave?
Yeah, okay.
So Wolverine's gone. Morph / Wolverine comes inside and he runs into Rogue, who tells him that she's going to go grab 40 winks in the rec room.
Mm-hmm. At this time, Morph is gathering information to fuck with people.
Yeah, he just said before he was outside, let's see if we can upset everybody else. So this is him trying to upset everybody else. So then Rogue walks off to go for a nap in the rec room, and Morph Wolverine says, don't worry, Rogue, I'll be as quiet as a corpse.
Very out of character for Wolverine to say, so now we know that it's Morph.
So then he morphs into Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
So now Morph Rogue then comes into the war room where Gambit is doing a card trick for Jubilee, who's less than impressed. And she says, card tricks are for kids.
Yeah.
And then
that's when she brings the popcorn in.
Yeah. So Morph Rogue then says,
you are a kid or something like that.
You are a kid. Run along and play while I talk to Gambit. So Jubilee doesn't want to leave as she's watching the news, which is fair call. She's watching the friggin' news. And so Gambit says... So Rogue gives Gambit a little wink and sort of puts arms behind her back.
Yeah, Morph Rogue does a bit of a sexy pose. She puts he, whatever. Morph Rogue puts her hands behind her back, pops the chest out a little bit and parts the mouth slightly and gives Gambit the hard eye, you want to back me up on this.
So Gambit's face here is sort of like confused and he's like, oh.
It's almost like the eyebrow pops up. Oh, yeah, go.
So he says,
do what she said, okay?
Jubilee takes off out the door and she says, run along and play. Ooh, I hate them. And she sort of accidentally fries the door with the fireworks. So then Morph Rogue tells Gambit, what if I've been lying to you about not being able to touch another human? And she takes off the glove and strokes Gambit's face.
Yeah.
He's like, he's a bit worried. And he's like, ooh.
Yeah, he's on, yeah.
So she says,
come up to the rec room in 5 minutes and I'll show you.
Now, I've got a note that I've just written here. How far would Morph go to full Gambit? And I'm thinking, this could get really twisted really quickly if we really dive into it. But it's just like... I don't know, how good an actor are you just to fuck up Gambit's day? Because that'd be pretty twisted shit if they went the whole way and then Morph doesn't reveal it, and when he finally gets cured in the end, he's still got that memory of that. Go, oh, Gambit, I've got something I need to tell you. Oh, Jesus, made my skin crawl thinking about it. But then Morph's a bad man.
Oh, Morph. So Morph Rogue takes off out the door and morphs into Storm.
So Morph Storm now.
So Jubilee's now in, I guess, the kitchen. She's going through the fridge there, and she says, if they're going to treat me like a kid, they might as well keep more junk food in the house. And Morph Storm enters and tells her to head to the mutant halfway house because they have information there is going to be a violent attack. Which seems a bit out of place because, we've never seen Jubilee go on her own for any sort of mission.
Yeah, but at the moment she's hurt for being called a kid, so she's accepting this responsibility as some sort of, I don't know, she's welcoming the challenge.
She does ask, what can I do? So usually, it's nothing. Apparently this time. So Morph Rogue tells her to go there and report back what she finds. And then morphs back into himself now.
Right.
And says, that's for thinking you can take my place.
Real dark.
So we cut to the rec room where we see another sexually drawn Rogue lying on the lounge.
She's just asleep, but the hip is popped, their hands on the hip.
Nobody sleeps like that. Unless it's a porn. It's always weird when they say that on Family Guy. That's why I always say it now.
Oh, really?
upon. It just hits the ear wrong.
Oh, right, yeah.
No one says upon.
Yeah. Well, that reminds me of a line from 30 Rock when Liz is asking one of the writers, I'm going on a date with this guy, how should I act? And he goes, like you're in a porn. She goes, no, but what guys like to act if you're in a porn?
So Gambit Anderson says,
Look like I keep you waiting too long. Or maybe you just want me to wake you up with a kiss.
So Gambit kisses Rogue and immediately drains all his power. And then he collapses and Rogue's like, what's going on?
What the heck?
And then she touches the arm of the couch and explodes.
So she's now absorbed Gambit's power and Gambit's been made a fool of.
So Jubilee heads to the Veterans Club, which is where she was going for the mutant halfway house.
Yep.
And she rings the doorbell and says, hi, you need some help protecting mutants? And Creed answers the door with his goons behind him. He's got his goons behind Jubilee as well. And he welcomes her inside. So that's the end of that scene. And then Storm is watching the news again in the war room when Rogue carries Gambit in. And she explains what happened to Gambit and says, serves him right. And then she says, and then this just keeps happening. So she picks up a mug, charges it up, throws it into the air. Like, did she really need to do that? Or should she just say, now I've got his powers? Like, do you have to prove it?
It was like, could have been someone's favourite mug. So it might have been Gambit's mug. So she's just really pissed and says, fuck, now this keeps happening. Whose mug can I blow up to demonstrate? Oh, Gambit's mug. Then she throws it up and blows up. Like he didn't fucking destroy anything.
Yeah. So did you also notice here she's not wearing her gloves?
Not wearing her gloves. I think that her gloves just got charged off.
Do you think?
They just and they blew up, and now she can't wear the gloves anymore. Otherwise, it would have been a pretty easy fix because she just put the gloves on.
That's
and
right.
Similar sort of rules. She can't touch anything to charge it up. So
Yeah,
that's what I went with.
I wasn't sure about that either because, like, even Gambit's gloves, he's missing a couple of fingers. So I'm like, oh, does his power only work if he's actually physically touching the thing?
I was thinking if he wants to. Gambit's got control of it.
But does it have to be his skin touching?
Possibly, yeah.
Because he uses the kinetic energy and he absorbs it and changes it into whatever potential energy to throw the thing. If you know any more about this, someone else,
jump in and tell us, if he needs skin contact on whatever he's going to charge.
Someone will know. Someone just let us know and we'll read it out on the next podcast.
I would assume so.
So Storm tries to contact Jubilee in her bedroom and she asks, could Jubilee have left without telling us?
Well, they're starting to put the pieces together. Someone might be fucking with us.
Yeah, Rogue says, something screwy's going on here. Where's Beast? And Beast is in the danger room.
He has got a leisurely workout here. He's just doing like monkey bars or going rope to rope. I don't think he's actually in any sort of action. So he's just hanging out in the danger room. A light workout for Beast.
Yeah. So Storm decides she's going to video call Danger Room where Morph Beast answers and tells her and Rogue to fly on ahead and he'll meet them at the disturbance. I don't really say what's going on. He just says that and then it's off. And morphs back into himself and is watching Beast do his little workout in the Danger Room.
Yeah.
So then Morph says, how about a truly beastly workout? And then he gets the dial of the Danger Room, puts it up from low all the way up to high. And then this sort of causes all the little laser turrets to come down, start firing on Beast. So the difference between low and high is guns.
Is laser turrets.
And then we get like this huge bloody Nerf gun thing comes out of the bottom. That's what it looks like, mate. It looks like a Nerf gun.
A big dart launcher. I called it a plunger launcher because it's got a massive head on it and looks like a stick falling out the back. Basically just looks like a missile launcher from action figures and toys.
The Beast does do what you think, though. Like, he heads straight for the door. He's like, oh, this is screwy. Better go to the door. Can't get out of the door. He's like, oh, shit. So everything's firing at him.
He is smart. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
I was happy about that.
He wasn't just trying to duck around, swing around, trying to get out of the way.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So we get a wipe into the city again, and the Foh are in the Mutant Counseling Center, and they hit it with a grenade before Storm and Rogue show up. And so they throw a grenade up at Rogue, who catches it, And she says, y'all want to play catch? And then throws it into the air. I'm like, that's not how you play catch,
Well,
right?
she couldn't very well throw a grenade right back at him.
She could have.
She could have.
They threw it at her.
She could have charged it up, give it a bit of extra
That's
juice,
right.
and then thrown it at him. Well, you can't murder them. They're X-Men are good guys.
So Storm summons the torrential rain to put out the fire caused
Yep.
by the grenade explosion.
Mm-hmm.
And the start firing on Storm. So Rogue flies over and she picks up a street light, but she doesn't touch it with her hands.
Yeah, she gets it in her elbows to pick it up because she don't want to charge the bastard.
And she swings it and hits a couple of the group. And then she does touch it with her hands, charges it up, and then goes and drops it on the guys.
It was around this scene you thought something else might have been edited
Yeah,
out,
this
right?
is
'Cause
where it
a
gets
bit cutty and
confusing
weird.
for me because there's like a scene where Storm sort of points out away, nothing's said, and then Rogue's sort of like, oh, I got to take off.
Yeah.
And then Storm's like, oh, it's okay, Beast is coming, which is what we saw before. But yeah, it feels like something's missing there. Like there was sort of smoke in the background as well, or I think they could have added another line of dialogue there.
Yeah, I'll check to see I'll check my copy of the series, see if it's missing something. But yeah, I'll have a check and see what's missing. But from what we saw there tonight, it looked a bit cutty, like something was missing.
So Rogue takes off and she leaves Storm by herself to handle the group.
Yeah.
And then the cops show up.
Yeah.
So Storm summons the Arctic cold to ice up the street, one of her favourites.
Yeah, her go-to move.
Which again causes the car to have this terrible collision. But these two cops aren't as good as old Gyrick. They don't just pop out of the car all fine. They get knocked out.
They get knocked out.
So Morph's in the alleyway here. So he's somehow made it downtown straight away, just as quick as the other two can fly there.
Maybe morphed into someone with wings.
Would that work? That'd work, wouldn't
I
it?
think it would work.
Yeah.
Sauron or whatever the pterodactyl
Angel?
man is. There you go, yeah. So, shapeshifter powers are cool.
So Morph's in the alleyway and he yells out,
Do something! Make them pay!
and the cop car loses control and smashes into the power pole.
Yeah.
And morphs into I guess there's a police captain here.
Yes.
And
He's
he
got a mustache.
orders the other cops. That's right, because he's got a mustache. And he orders the other cops to fire at Storm at full energy. And Storm takes a few hits here. She takes like 4 hits.
Takes 4 hits, so those cops aren't messed. Cops can aim. The fuck cannot, but the cops can.
And she falls to the ground where there's already an ambulance there, and they strap her onto the gurney and take her away. They're very efficient.
First responders.
And then we get another TV transition here, but it's to Mr. Sinister, who is sitting in like this big green throne.
Big green, sort of like not thorns, like roots of trees,
Yeah.
and sort of weird sort of growth of a chair.
And he's got like a bunch of screens around him. And then he sort of like just does a little Hail Hitler thing at the screen and turns it off.
And that turns it off.
And he says, enjoy your revenge, Morph. I know I am. And then we get like a close-up on Mr. Sinister here. And he's got like that dark blue-black suit.
Yeah.
And it's got like streamers coming out the back. It's like a big peacock tail.
Yeah.
And he's got like a Dracula huge oversized collar.
Yeah, he's got the big collar up.
And his skin is like pure white. And he's got like full red eyes. And he's got a red jewel in the middle of his forehead. And his teeth are like really shark-like, really spiky, spiny.
Spiked teeth, yeah.
And he's got like black lipstick on. And he's got like the big black flat top haircut with a big widow's peak in the front. So he's...
He really went into detail with his look. He
yeah.
must be really impressed with his look to memorize all that, because it is a very unique look, I thought, that Mr. Sinister does have. Really contrast to Magneto, the Sentinels, and all the other villains we've seen thus far. This dude's completely white, got a real sort of gothic vibe to him. Makes me even think like, Tim Burton's definitely the guy to direct Till Death Do Us Part if it was live action with the Morph and with Mr. Sinister, because he's got like really sort of tight latexy sort of suit, very Edward Scissorhands-ish. I mean, Tim Burton sounded like a real good director for the X-Men this episode.
And it's his voice too. His voice always remember his voice. It's got that what do you call that effect?
I like the light distortion on it as well, but it's a reverby and deep.
Yeah, it always sounds sinister.
Yeah. He's got a really cool voice too.
Yeah.
That helps, but they've put a slight effect on him just to give him a bit of reverb, a bit of distortion.
And so, yeah, that's the end of the episode.
That's the end of the episode, yeah.
And, there's no to be continued there.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that.
So you can check yours for that too.
Oh, all right.
So if they cut that out too.
Huh, that's so weird that I mean, it's not a big cliffhanger ending. It's just a lot was unresolved here. Storm's in hospital. Beast is still under attack. Jubilee's been captured by the... And, yeah.
Enjoy your revenge, Morph. I know I am.
Yeah, so it's very mysterious, this episode.
Also should mention new end credits.
Yes, got the new end
new
credits.
song.
They just replay the general X-Men rev-up theme here, and they're showing highlights from previous episodes, this current episode, and episodes to come. So in the whole highlight reel, as the credits are rolling, we see some stuff from Night of the Sentinels, we see Cable, we see Enter Magneto footage, but we also see Death to Us Part 1 and Part 2 vision here of Beast running away from the giant plungers, Gambit throwing the cue ball, and Wolverine jumping with in the tuxedo and the cummerbund. So yeah, that's the end of Till Death Do Us Part 1.
So what did you think of this one, Bender?
For the first episode of season 2, I think personally this does feel like it does have a darker sort of vibe to it. I could tell just by the uniform. First time we see Cyclops, it's the android Cyclops, the training robot Cyclops, but his uniform is a darker hue of blue, which I always connected in my head with. I really noticed a difference between the first season and the second season just by that hue of blue. I think we're moving into darker territory now.
Yeah.
With Morph and his conflict between good and evil and trying to come back and be good again. These are some pretty heavy tones that we're setting up here. And when you got the lead villain named Mr. Sinister, I think it's time to start getting sinister because everything was just... I wouldn't say it wasn't dark, but the Sentinels did sort of get a little goofy towards the end. It appears to be a ace of spades. I mean, that's pretty silly. And it blows up in his face. I think what they're trying to do is establish as Mr. Sinister is a really sort of manipulative, evil sort of villain that will take control of your friend and turn your friend against you just to get what he wants. And I think Season 2, Episode 1, I think they're really starting to change the tone here a bit. But, yeah, not a lot of punchy one-liners in this one, eh? Not high on the comedy, not high on the goof, not a lot of badass stuff here, but it's just really... This one felt really dark for me. What did you think, man?
I thought it was like a solid start to a season.
Yes.
Like they started a lot of stuff here. Like, this is the new storyline. Boom.
Exactly. They've given you a lot of plot points or storylines to follow. We've got the Morph, got everything. Yeah.
So it did really feel like a first episode. It was very similar to Night of the Sentinels to me. Like it was just a different story. Yes, very dark, more darker than the first one.
Yeah, we've reset the pieces as it were, and we're starting afresh with new sort of ways to go into stuff like Cyclops and Jean are married now, and Morph's back, but he's dead. Mr. Sinister's the puppet master of it all.
And all the cast is in this one as well.
Oh, yes. Very good. And we get to see Beast finally do something.
Yeah, Beast is in.
Since episode 1, right?
Yeah.
And he does cool shit. Like, he picked up the ball with his foot, helping out, picks up the car, twin style, hanging and climbing through the danger room. It was really cool to see Beast in action because I think I'm a bit of a Beast fan. I like everything he does. And it was good to see him in action.
This is also the first full appearance of the major villains, Great and Creed Jr.
All right.
The Friends of Humanity, and Mr. Sinister.
Yes, very good.
Although Creed and Sinister are not fully named in the episode. It does say Creed, but it doesn't say his full name.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't say Mr. Sinister.
All right.
And also Mr. Sinister had his voice cameo at the end of the previous season, but it wasn't the same voice.
No, it was a very high pitch. Sinister knows what your future holds, but this Sinister's really deep and really sleazy.
So also, Robert Kelly's middle name is revealed to be Jefferson.
Jefferson.
In the comics, his middle name is Edward.
Oh.
Robert Edward.
Why would they change that?
I don't know.
Just cause, I guess.
Yeah, this also shows that actual blast of Morph being killed.
Oh, okay.
We didn't see. It was just left to the imagination.
I swear we saw it before.
No, we didn't. We
No,
didn't.
I
It's,
must
it's
have
this one you keep
Filled
re-seeing.
in the blanks.
Yeah. And Mr. Sinister mentions his revenge, but we're not actually elaborated on till like episode 75.
Really?
Just like Descent. Yeah.
You're kidding. Well, that's a spoiler alert for me next week because I was wanting to know what his revenge was, and I don't really want to skip ahead to episode 75. Was it Descent? Is that the name?
Descent.
Descent. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not skipping far. Just remind me to, once we get up to 75, say, okay, this is the reason why he wants his revenge, Bender.
And also, this is Senator Robert Kelly. He's now the president, and he remains so for the rest of the series.
Oh, very
so
good.
no more female president, non-named.
In the track pants.
Yeah, in the
Bruce Lee track
in the
pants.
Bruce Lee Kill Bill.
Yellow and black track pants. What was your favourite part, Brooksy?
My favourite part has to be the pool hall fight with
yes.
mainly Gambit with his bow staff.
See, my favourite bit was during the pool hall fight as well. It was the ball flick.
Oh, yeah.
That really did a lot for me, setting up character through action and showing what Beast is capable of. He just picks the ball up with his foot, tosses it to his hand, and throws it to Gambit, meaning that he knows he's under attack. He's a close-range fighter. There's an item here that's next to me. I can give it to Gambit to give me some cover. And he picks it up with his foot because it shows off his dexterity and what he is. And part of his mutant gimmick is he can grab stuff with his hands and his feet. And he shows that he's a team player. I'd have him running the X-Men. He'd be my leader because he seems pretty smart. He's action ready as well. Maybe a bit too much of a not a pacifist. Maybe he would avoid conflict a little bit, but yeah, he'd be my leader. I'd follow Beast.
Yeah,
in the
I'd follow
battle.
Beast more than Cyclops.
Yeah.
Or the Professor.
Beast seems a lot smarter, you know? He seems
Yeah.
got a rational head on him. What was your favourite quote, Brooksy?
There wasn't many quotes in this one.
This one was pretty quoteless for me.
Because I really like Sinister's voice, but there wasn't anything that he really quoted.
Didn't give us a lot to work with.
So I've just picked Wolverine's one where he says, "I'll be as quiet as a corpse."
Yeah.
Because that sort of
Morph
seemed a bit
Wolverine,
weird.
yeah.
Morph Wolverine.
See, I put the rogue line, zip those lips. This ain't, what did you say? This ain't Cajun country.
Yep.
Zip those lips.
That's it.
I thought that was pretty neat, just as a way just to say, okay, Gambit's still hitting on her, but she's being creative with how she sends him away now. So, it's pretty lackluster quotes, but this is a slow build episode, not a rapid-fire, funny juggernaut episode where something, or Days of Future Past Part 1 where there's quotes coming out the ears, but yeah, that's it for quotes.
So how do you rate this one?
See, this one was, I'd say, slightly above average for me. I'd rate this one, but I think, yeah, a 6 out of 10, just to be
6?
generous. Because, yeah, it's just to stop it from being a 5 was, I really noticed tonight, just the sort of, the groundwork they're laying for future episodes. I appreciated that part of the episode, but for me, in rewatch value, I very rarely rewatch this one. I mean, I rewatched it during the week or earlier today to refresh myself and watch it again tonight. But before that, I couldn't tell you the last time I rewatched this one. What'd you rate it, Bruce?
I give it a 6.5.
6.5. Let's have a look at IMDb now.
Yes.
To see what the others have rated it.
They've given this one an 8.
They've given it an 8, and you've got all those ones.
I do.
Very good, Brooksy. You come prepared.
I did.
They rated an 8. I don't think this was an 8.
8.0.
Well, in terms of what impresses me for these things, badass moments, funny moments, and action, they didn't really have a lot of that in this one. This is more of a setup. Hey, we're back. We're setting up what's to come. Maybe part 2 could be more uplifting for me and more of what I want from an episode. But for me, yeah, 6 out of 10 if I'm being generous. All right, time for tally time. How many did you have for claw draws?
5.
5? I must have stopped counting because I've only got 3.
Yeah, there's definitely 5. So plus the 44 from last episode is now 49.
49, very good. And 5 for this season so far, and just
Yes.
this episode was 5.
So do you want me to tell you that as well? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could start the things like for, whatever.
All right, no worries. I'll keep that for a season counter and all up.
Yes,
counter as
please.
well.
I'd like that very much. I'm
No
sure
worries.
Brian would like that too.
We didn't have any inclusions on the Bubs. No much gene, so no gene feigning.
No J
Did you find any sound effects?
When that Sentinel rocked up, I heard the Sentinel, the Robocop 2 again, but nothing new.
And also Beast's quote. The what's in a name. That one's just from Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Shakespeare, Act 2, Scene 2.
Very good. Okay, it's time for the social media shout-outs. Rate and subscribe to us on iTunes and Podbean. You can also find us on Podcast Addict and Pocket Casters. If you're on iTunes, give us a star rating so we have an average. I want to know how many stars we're worth. Like and share our page on Facebook at Generation X-Men. Share us to any X-Men fans who'd like to hear two Australians bang on about mutants for an hour. Also, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Gen X-Men Pod for some behind-the-scenes photos, videos, and Meme Monday. Or you can contact us via Facebook IM or by email generationxmenpodcast@gmail.com. So what's up for us next week, Brooks?
Next week is number 15, Season 2, Episode 2, Till Death Do Us Part 2.
So that'll be a good one for me, I think. It's really going to deliver on what has been set up in this particular episode. And maybe we're going to see some big action and big reveals here. So I'm pretty excited for that one. Alright, that's it from us here at Generation X-Men. Hope you've had as much fun listening as we have had talking. Wherever you are in the world, thank you for your time and attention. Next week, we've got Till Death Do Us Part 2, with Breakdown, Tally Time and Claw Draw. Like the Terminator, we'll be back, and we look forward to your company then. Thanks for hosting, Brooksy.
No worries, Bender. Take it easy, mate.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye-bye.